First question, tell me one thing you do to create your best year ever.
I love this question. And the one thing I do to create my best year ever is every single morning, no matter what, I anchor my day with a workout. And I was just talking to a friend about this last week. It's just a non-negotiable thing that I have to do. And this happened a few years ago. I walked in to work. I was actually giving a speech and I did not have the same energy that I wanted. And it was because I used the excuse of I had to leave too early to drive to the speech and I did not get a workout in. And I could just feel the energy that I did not have, that I wish I had, that I think I would have had I anchored my morning with a workout. So first thing in the morning, within the first 15, 30 minutes, I need to be running, lifting, doing burpees. It could be 10 minutes. It could be an hour and a half, but I have to anchor my day with the workout. And it sets the tone, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally for me to conquer the day, week, month, and year.
Oh, baby. What I love about what you just said is one thing, non-negotiable. Because when you want to create your best year ever, you start with your list of non-negotiables. And welcome to Best Year Ever, a podcast designed to inspire growth and impact so you can create your best year ever. And I'm your host, Rob Cressy. And joining me today is Matt Scoletti, inspirational speaker. Matt, great to have you on the show.
Man, I'm so excited to be here. I was pumped for the pre-chat, and now we're getting into the podcast. So let's do it, man. I'm pumped.
So I love once again, this is the second time I'm going to use this word with you in our conversation, the synchronicity of life. Because the thing that I wanted to talk to you about first, and today we're going to talk about the choice to live a different life. That's the title of today, Choice to Live a Different Life. And framing this goes exactly to what you just said at the very beginning. So last night, I have a 9-month-old son. He got sick for the first time. And he was throwing up a couple times, including on me. And it was gross. But we were there to love him. And it caused my routine to be all out of whack because we went to bed later because we're sick. Because he was sick, so we're staying up with him. And I'm someone that when I think about my sleep is important to me. I am scheduling between 7 and 8 hours. It usually comes closer to the 7. So whatever time I go to bed, I'm then going to move it to 7 hours. And normally I get up at 4:56 a.m. and I knew I was talking to you today. I was like, boom, Matt's a high performer. Matt's getting after this early and I want to set the tone for this. Well, last night happens and I get up at 5:56 a.m. this morning and things are out of whack. Baby gets up a little bit earlier and the time that I would normally have to work out all of a sudden has shrunk and gone away. So now I have a choice. Do I move on without this or do I find a way to get it in? And I have a non-negotiable for myself. And on Tuesdays, I have 2 coaching clients in the mornings. And for me, my integrity as a coach and showing up as the best version of myself for them is a non-negotiable. Every single coaching client that I have, I worked out that day because that's what they deserve. So I got in a 20-minute Peloton workout for them, and I knew that I was talking to you. And I knew you were getting after it this morning, and I was like, I got to match Matt's energy in some capacity. So it's amazing how the breadcrumbs just left themselves. Matt, you said I work out in the morning. It's a non-negotiable. I just had the story this morning that working out is a non-negotiable and you make it happen.
Oh, I love that story, man. You got me so stoked by telling that. And you know what's interesting? You got my brain going so many different directions, but I love how you said, like, I think we all rub off on each other. And this was part of the reason why I was excited to connect with you, because I'm like, this guy brings it. By the way, I was obsessed with that 8 Mile reference video you put up. I was loving that one, as I love a lot of what you're putting out. And I'm just thinking, I need to be connected with this guy. Like, we need to be friends, because it's almost like this friendly competition where we're going to keep rising with one another. And I just admire that about you. And hopefully at some point we'll get a chance to meet face to face, but it's just amazing who you surround yourself with. I'm becoming a bigger and bigger believer. That's who you become. And if I can keep surrounding myself with speakers that are better than me, and people that are healthier than me, and people that have higher energy than me, I'm inevitably going to keep leveling my game up without even trying, because I'm around those types of people. So I've learned that the hard way by surrounding myself with maybe not the greatest people in 10, 15 years ago. And I've learned to get around people like you, because I can just feel it in the first 10 minutes of us chatting. Like, my energy got an immediate boost because you bring it, man. You bring it nonstop.
And I love that, because you just gave me the natural segue, because we're going to talk about our choice to live a different life. And Matthew, what I know about you as well as myself, that we were not always this way. And there's a moment in each of our lives, in everyone's life, where you say, you know what? Things are going to be different from this point forward. And a lot of people do this on sort of like a New Year's basis, but they don't really mean it. We're talking about transformational life choice. Your choice to go all in on yourself and be the best version of yourself. And so many people that I talk to are in a rut, or they're stuck, or they feel plateaued about their personal growth. So it doesn't always have to mean that we're in the dumps. And I know certainly in my instance, and I know with yours, we were both in extremely challenging times, not living the life that we wanted. So ours was a lot more transformational than most. But at the core of it, which is the simplest thing that I love to drive home, it's a choice. All this is one day we're living the hard life, and the next day we say, I am choosing to live a better way.
I think I love the name of this podcast title, and I'm 100% on board with you, my friend. I feel like that was one of the big issues that you alluded to that I had, was I kind of just let life happen this is when I was age 18 to 27. I just tried to fit in. And I think that was one of my problems, was I didn't feel like I had a choice. I had no confidence in myself. I had no direction. I had no motivation, inspiration. And as a result, ended up being basically a full-blown alcoholic. And like you said, it was one of those mornings you get up and you're like, wait a second, I do have a choice. I can change. People are not forcing alcohol down my throat. I'm the one that's sipping the booze or the shot or whatever it is. And I do have a choice to make better health decisions for myself, my body, my mind. And that's an empowering thing, I think, the way that you say that, which is we all have a choice to live a much different life. And it's not easy, as I'm sure you know. Like, it takes time to have this change happen. But I mean, not drinking alcohol was arguably the greatest decision I ever made in my life.
And what I think I would love to dive a little bit deeper into is what we do when things don't go the way that we think they should or that we would like. And welcome to life, because life, like entrepreneurship, is a series of obstacles. It looks more like a roller coaster than it does a linear path. Even if social media tells us that everything is puppy dogs and rainbows, we all know that we're all challenged, from our own self-talk to our relationships, to our health or the health of the people that we love, to getting up every single day and are we enjoying what we're doing? And we know that the road ahead is uncertain and these bumps are going to be there. But Matt, one thing that separates you and I is our ability to reframe these things from this is stopping me, this is an obstacle, to this is an opportunity. And this single mindset and skill set is the game changer of all game changers for high performers and elite athletes and people with world-class mindsets. Because there's a book that I love, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, which says what stands in the way becomes the way. And the thing that epitomizes this for me, and I know you because I know what you did today, is you ran in the rain. And I love when it is raining because the rest of the world says, it's raining. And you see Rob and Matt and it's like, it's raining. Because I love the opportunity to reframe something that's a negative to the world as a positive that serves me and makes me better.
Oh man, you got me wanting to go run outside again right now. I love all that, man, and that's exactly why I love it too. It's like the most of the world is gonna give you the poopy pants. Oh crap, it's raining. I gotta stay inside. And I will actually, and I'm sure you probably do the same because we're both cut from the same cloth. I will look at I'm doing my best to never look at the weather because if I have a run scheduled, I'm running. It doesn't matter what's going on outside. But sometimes I'll look at the weather just to see, okay, is it going to rain and when's it going to rain? Because that's when I want to be out there when it's the grossest, it's the muggiest, it's the wettest. Because as you said, like inevitably in life, we're going to get rained on, whether that's somebody gets cancer or somebody you get divorced or there's a death in your family. Like there's going to be rain. So I try to put myself out there and get in the rain. So that way, when these things happen in life, like you said, you're more prepared for it. I love that, man. Running in the rain is like my new favorite thing to do. I made a promise to myself that I will do whatever I can when it rains to get my shoes on and get out there. So I'm with you, man. I love it. Or and snow, Matt, right?
Well, of course. And Matt, one place where it rained heavily, you and I both ran the Pittsburgh Marathon. And that is the hardest rain I have ever run in my entire life. And you know how much confidence I got from running in that rain, knowing that so many other people who are running are complaining, oh my God, it's raining. I'm like, this is the most epic story ever, that I'm finishing my first marathon and it is a downpour coming in sideways so much so that I can't even use my headphones.
You know what? I'm so glad that we both ran that marathon because I don't know where you were, but it wasn't like it was mile 25 when it started pouring. I think it was like 4 or 5 miles in.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I did the Marine Corps marathon once and it got really bad, but it was later on in the marathon. This was early and I'm with you. Like, I almost felt bad that I was you almost had to laugh because it was raining so hard. It was just ridiculous. And I just started chuckling to myself. And I think my headphones, I think they crapped out because I think I had them in and then I just took them out because it seemed worthless. But yeah, I'm with you. I love how you said that you were so confident when the rain hit because I'm assuming you had run in the rain before, or had you just put yourself in situations that are difficult and you knew you could handle it?
I did 75 hard and the entire Live Hard Mental Toughness program from Andy Frisella. And one of the things that Andy preaches, the conditions are never perfect. And I did this living in Chicago. So I was doing 45-minute outdoor workouts at 5 a.m. in negative degree weather. So I have pictures on Instagram of my water bottle freezing. So for me, that became a badge of honor. So I knew the conditions are never perfect. I know it can be super hot. I know it can be super cold. I know it can be pouring rain. I know it can be everything in between. And we can't control the conditions, but we can control our actions and the way that we respond to those things. Because I promise you, every person who works out in bad weather, when you're done doing that, there's a smile on your face.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Like, I think that's probably one of the most addicting things is like when you're done, even this morning, when I'm driving home, I just feel like I could conquer the world. And it's like, I don't care what happens today. I'm ready because the whole day was anchored in that rainy, wet workout. And I mean, I'm with you. I love that. I wrote that down. Conditions are never perfect. And I'm sure, dealing with business owners and people that are starting podcasts, it's never going to be the perfect time to start a podcast, right? Like that's just how life is. And you help people do it anyways. And I love that about you, man. You got no excuses over there.
And never. And by the way, if you're someone who wants to launch a podcast, we've got cohorts coming up. You can go to robcressy.com/voice. So Matt, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is energy, because I don't know if I have ever met anybody in my life that is as energetic or possibly more energetic than I am. So anybody who follows you on Instagram will see your content, and they probably say this, because I get asked the same thing. Are you always like this? And the answer inevitably is, of course. And why? Because this is a lifestyle. Remember, the name of this show, Best Year Ever. It's a lifestyle, a mindset, and a way of being. And like attracts like. So when you and I are radiating in a certain energy, when you're doing your dancing at 5 a.m., on Instagram, when you're about to do a workout, people look at that and I know what they're thinking. This dude is crazy. And then you show up the next day and he's dancing again at 5 a.m. and you're like, this dude is crazy. So can you talk about always being like this when it comes to lifestyle design? Because when you understand this life hack, it's a game changer.
This is such a fun conversation. And I think it's just, I'm, as you and I were talking about before with like the word motivation, I think motivation can be a great word, but I'm more of a disciplined person where there's going to be mornings where I get up at 4:30, 4:45, whatever the time is. And I'm like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do the morning dance. Like, and I don't always record it. Like sometimes I just record it because I like to share, to be high energy and show what I'm doing. Most of the time I don't record them, but it's just a discipline. It's like when the alarm goes off, and it's normally a song that I enjoy dancing to, and I'll switch the song up from week to week, month to month. I'm going to get up and I'm going to start dancing. And it's like the second I start moving my body, my mindset reacts, and it's like, oh, it's morning. It's time to get up. People ask me, and that's so funny that you say that, are you always like this? And it's like, yeah, I am. And for me, and I don't know how you get to this point, Rob, but I just know what I was like for 10 years of my life, which was, I mean, I don't want to say I ruined it, but I didn't do anything that I'm proud of when I was in my alcoholic days. So now it's like, okay, I'm sober, I'm healthy, I feel great, and I'm going to bring it every day because I know how much I did not bring it for 10 years. So it's just another one of those non-negotiables where when the alarm goes off, I'm bouncing out of bed and I'm going to go for it. And like, I'm going to get my body moving, and then my mind just responds to it. And it's like, oh, we're moving now. Like it's too late for my brain to say, get back in bed, because I'm already moving. The day has already begun. So I am a very anti-snoozer. I used to be a big time snoozer as far as hitting the snooze button. I used to snooze 4, 5, 6 times every morning. And I just felt like I was already failing the first goal of the day, which was get up when the alarm goes off. So now I have like little mini hacks. Like I always keep my phone on the opposite side of the bedroom. So when the alarm goes off, I have to get up to shut it off. So I'm like dancing my way over to the alarm clock, and I get enough sleep too. I mean, I get asked, I'm sure you get asked this too, do you ever sleep? And it's like, it's actually the opposite of that. I get a lot of sleep. Like I'll sleep minimum 7 hours usually, and I try to get 8 in. So when people see me up at 4:30, I normally go to bed at 9 o'clock. So I have my 7.5 hours and I'm ready to rock and roll at 4:30. So sleep is a very big thing for me as well.
Yeah. And for me, it's almost the exact same thing, that I know what it is like to live this way, and I know what it is like to not live this way for 10 years of my life. And I can tell you, it is way better living this sort of radiation and loving your life and being excited about it. Because for me, every day is legitimately the best day of my life because I'm alive today. I get the opportunity to do what I love with amazing people, have positive impact in the world. And that's one of the fulcrums of what changed in my life when I was in the corporate world to being a full-time creator, entrepreneur, and a coach. I didn't wake up every day looking forward to slinging banner ads and text links. It's a lot easier to hit snooze when I didn't like that. I didn't have a morning routine. I didn't have a growth mindset. I wasn't self-aware. But all of a sudden, when you start learning and stacking these things, and remember, I'm 12 years in the making. Granted, I'm a lot more years in the making, but seriously, all in on myself, 12 years in the making. And a lot of people need to understand that this is just a day-by-day journey. No matter where you are in this process, there's an opportunity to make today and tomorrow better. So even if you're not where we are, that's totally cool. Just come in the game with us, because now you're in the game and you can play and you can be on that frequency and you can be on that energy. And I know early on in my journey, you read a book for the first time, and then all of a sudden, another book is listed in that book. And you're like, what's that book? And you read that, and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. So you learn about, you start at Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then all of a sudden that takes you to Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. And then somehow you snake your way over to Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, and then somewhere Jesse Itzler and Andy Frisella and Ed Milet, and all of a sudden your mind is exploding. And here's Ryan Holiday, and here's Jocko Willnick, and you're like, oh my God, you just want to soak all of this up like Neo in the Matrix. You're like, I want to learn so much about this. And it all starts with a willingness and a hunger to understand that I want to get better. So I want to be around people who can do that. And oftentimes for me, that's about your inputs, the podcasts, the books, or the coaches and the coaching programs. And that's how I got to where I am now, one brick at a time. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this right now, I hope this gives you encouragement, not discouragement. Because when you're about this life, we're only about building up, never what we are not doing. Even though, Matt, you and I, we all have those days every day. We just show up with consistency, but that does not mean that those thoughts and self-limiting beliefs do not exist.
Oh man, those are such good comments. And yeah, I love everything that you said. I mean, that's it. And I love how you said, I love how real you are with it. You're 12 years in the making. It's not like you just rolled over 2 weeks ago and you created this person that you are now. And I'm the same way. I'm over 10 years in. It took time to get to this point. And I think the other thing is, and you alluded to it, which is especially with social media, I think this idea of you and I feel like help each other grow. And it's not like I'm comparing my life to your life. We're just helping one another grow. And I'm a huge believer in the you versus you mentality, where maybe I can run 10 miles and you can run 20. That doesn't mean I should want to beat you and run 21 tomorrow. I want to beat myself from yesterday, from last week, from last month. And I think when I stopped comparing myself to other people's journey and just stayed on my own journey, it became less stressful, more exciting. And as Tony Robbins says, progress equals happiness. So the person that goes from running 1 mile to 1.1 miles, that's as exciting as if I go from running 99 miles to 100 miles. We're both on different journeys. And I think that's another reason why you and I think are so connected, is it's like lifting each other up while also not comparing each other's lives to one another.
Yeah, because comparison is the thief of joy, because it's not serving you. And you're right, I'm inspired. It doesn't mean that I want to go run 100 miles, but maybe it means the next time it's going to rain, I'm going to go run in the rain. Or maybe you're the little nugget in my head for when my alarm goes off and I want to snooze. And I'm like, you're talking to Matt today. There's no way you're hitting snooze on the day you're talking to Matt, because that's the voice that was in my head today when it was, do I work out or not? And I was like, I can get in 20 minutes. I'm talking to Matt. And that's just how it goes. And Matt, you and I could jam so much about so many things, but I think I'm going to leave this here. Where can everybody connect with you and get some daily drips of your joy?
Man, I love jamming with you too, man. I feel like this is something that I need to do every week. I need my weekly dose of Rob. They can, Instagram, I'm most active, is just my name, at Matt Scoletti. If you want to book me to come speak, I have a website. It's just my name again, mattscoletti.com. So yeah, hit me up. I respond to every DM. Sometimes it takes me like a day, but I don't think I think I've responded to everybody that's ever reached out. So hopefully that'll continue. And I would love to jam with anybody that reaches out about health or running your first 5K or marathon or whatever your goals are. Let's chat about it, man.
And I want to hear from you. I would love to hear how you have chosen to live a better life. You can hit me up on all social media platforms at Rob Cressy. We're also dropping these videos on YouTube, or you can go to robcressy.com. I got a lot of resources for you on mindset, personal growth, as well as podcasting.